Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us. And today we're going to talk about why you should stop using Excel to track your time if you're a contractor, or in fact, why you should just stop using Excel in general. Yes, I know it cannot be avoided to use Excel in certain circumstances and scenarios, but there's a valid reason to stop tracking time in Excel, and that's because your field staff, your folks who are, hourly paid, all of that good stuff should be tracking the time for you. And your system should automate that flow into job cost and payroll and all of that good stuff. So I'm joined today by Lisa Hutt and Mike Baio. Awesome. Thanks for thanks for joining me, guys. Appreciate you taking the time again today for me. You guys have any nightmare stories about, customers maybe, or somebody who a contractor you've ran into before who's just holy crap, I cannot believe you're using Excel in this way?
Yes, I for sure do, actually. So, in regards to time tracking, you have, your hourly time by employee, and you've got maybe some billable rates you want to charge out to time and material jobs based on your contract with the client or your owner, your customer. So, this was when we're in Sage 300. So, what we would do is we would enter in, first, we would collect paper time cards
Yeah.
via Excel. I shouldn't say paper, they were via Excel, emailed in to a time card email inbox into our payroll person. She would download them, then she would print them. She'd take them and type them into an Excel spreadsheet by job, by person. And then that time would be marked up at a billable rate. And that is a very complex Excel file. That's why I'm telling the story. Then that would calculate out a chunk of data that would then be downloaded into a text file and uploaded into job cost module. So the job cost module would show the higher billable rate by employee for each job. Then there was a separate chunk of data that Excel file would spit out that would be uploaded into the payroll module. So people could get paid on their time. So
You haven't lost me yet, by the way.
So imagine when someone has to take over this Excel file and doesn't know it in and out, or doesn't know Excel very well, how breakable that could be.
Yeah. No
How someone
kidding.
could get paid wrong, how your jobs could get charged time wrong, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so what happened was, don't know, it might still be being used, but whether it's right or not, another story.
It's anybody's guess, right? Because I think you kind of bring up a good point, which is, Excel is really a liability in that situation because you don't know who's using it today, and probably the person who's using it today did not create the spreadsheet, or it's been, inherited. I guess the positive is that it's, it can't blow away like a paper timesheet. Like you can't if it's stuffed in the side of a work truck or something like that. But that's crazy.
Yeah. So, part of it is Sage 300, part of it is antiquated process, not using HH2, which was eventually implemented. And part of this issue went away. So instead of paper or manually emailed Excel files, they would download out of HH2 the time at least and put it in this file, and it would do its calculations.
Yeah.
And go into payroll.
And
but
go
yeah. Sorry, I'll stop here in a second. HH2 then helped, but then you've got the other part of marking up billable time to billable rates, but then paying people at their appropriate rate. So, okay, I'm done now.
No, and
that was my horror story.
That kind of relates to what I've seen a lot in the past with all that data collection. Your payroll expert, your payroll guru is in house. It ends up becoming a data collection instead of a payroll person.
Yeah.
And if they're weekly payroll and they're doing 70, 100 people employee payrolls or larger, these individuals become so stressed out, and it's nonstop because it never ends, and they're just always collecting data. instead of working on exceptions, instead of going, all right, what time, who hasn't submitted their time electronically this week? There's 5 people I got to follow up with, and so they can, if they're, digitally being brought into the system through a, a remote time service or a, software platform, it comes in real time. So it can be, we've seen it where it enters in daily, and obviously accuracy is huge. They're not touching it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And it's used for multi-purposes. So you're not just creating a file for jobs, creating a file for payroll, creating a file for, uploading into, for billing rates, like Lisa mentioned. It's one entry, and now we can flow it to wherever it needs to go. And that becomes huge in times and time.
And what's nice is the field can be in, you can either have a supervisor in the field entering time in for your field guys, or the field can enter, supervisors can approve, and this can be then pushed to accounting to process for your billable time and your payroll time.
And
So-
in the past, like 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, yeah, it was hard to get those field employees to get savvy enough. But in today's day and age, everybody's got a phone. Everyone's got the, mobile devices and things like that. So it's definitely the time, there's no excuse now. You can browse on your lunch break on the web, you can enter.
Right.
So, yeah.
Have you heard of TikTok? Have you heard of YouTube?
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
yeah, you can probably enter time on your mobile phone. And that is a big challenge. I mean, honestly, even what I like about especially the timekeeping and the time tracking systems like HH2 that we sell is that you can automate, a lot of that and reminders and things like that. And when you really get that process down, if you're tracking your time in Excel, I think, Mike, you brought up a really good point. Like that payroll person, the person who you want, focused on, paying your folks, and that they become really somebody who's just hunting down timesheets. And even if you're a company as small as like 15 people, that can become really a headache. It's just a big pain in the butt anyway. And so you bring up a good point. And that's why you should not use Excel, because you burden somebody with tracking down, those timesheet entries, and you're also losing a ton of time by having to re-import things and, make sure that the data is correct, double, triple checking. And then also you have just multiple and redundant data entries. So we've heard it over and over again about whether it's field guys or shop guys, not wanting to use, new technology or having a hard time adopting it. We've got some tips and we've got some tricks to getting your field staff to adopt that technology and to get that time into it. So yeah, if you're interested, hit us up, hit the like button below and hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Lisa, for joining me.
Thanks, Reed.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
Make it a great one.